Off-grid news welcomes you to the news that's not fit to print. I'm Rob. I'm here in Ukraine, standing guard with my comrades in arms, with these powerful weapons given to us by the Ukrainian government. Look at that. That's a weapon of war there, man. The Ukrainian guards demand that you subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends so we can all have cardboard guns. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said, "You shout too loud, I will put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Reporters, I have a special jail for reporters. You steal, right to jail. You play music too loud, right to jail, right away. Drive too fast, jail. Slow, jail. Your price is too high for a shirt, shoes, to jail. You undercook chicken, believe it or not, jail. You overcook fish, jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the doctor and you don't show up, jail, right away. Canada will have the best patients in the world because of jail." Tyson Food is working with the government after the bird flu was detected in a Kentucky facility. A flock of birds in Kentucky owned by Tyson Foods tested positive for the bird flu in the latest influenza outbreak in the U.S. Biden was quite happy to hear about this outbreak because now it will raise food prices just in time for next month's inflation numbers. Biden said, I just want to, break my, the inflation numbers. My old record was, I can't see in this thing, 7%. Babylon Bee reports the nation prepares to celebrate the second anniversary of the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. This time of the year, we like to come together and remember the historic 2 years ago when we put on masks and locked ourselves down, trusting that the lockdown would be over in 2 weeks. As a man stared out his window, longing for the good old days, wearing his 3 masks securely in place. President Joe Biden made headlines on Tuesday when he told a story about intentionally leaving a dead dog on a woman's front doorstep. Biden described the scene by saying the woman, who he said was a different political persuasion, called him when he was a member of the city council to complain about a dead dog in her front yard. When he informed her that the county would take care of the problem the next morning, he said she quickly demanded that he take care of it right away. Biden went on to say that, "So I went over there and I picked it up." She said, I went out to my front yard. I put it on her doorstep. First, I have to say, this story is a lie. It's got to be a lie. Why would anybody come up with a story so terrible? It just tells you what kind of character man he is. If I were to tell the story like that, it'd be something like, the woman called me and said, "There's a dead dog in my front yard. I want somebody to come and get it." I swooped in with a cape flapping, picked up the dog, and used a laser beam coming out of my eyes to dig a hole and buried the dog. I found a rock and used my laser beams out of my eyes and engraved it. The epitaph read only one word: pals. Torque News analyzed the cost between a 2022 Chevy Bolt electric vehicle and a 2021 V8 powered muscle car Dodge Charger 797 horsepower. The Chevy Bolt costs 30 cents per mile to operate. The Dodge Charger costs 12 cents per mile to operate, making the Chevy Bolt roughly triple the V8 gas-powered cost. Wait, I thought electric cars were powered on magic jelly bean fields and unicorn farts. The Democrat Party said their brand is so toxic across flyover country that the 5 families who live in those states may not vote for them anymore. The Guardian said that the new congressional map, it appears elections will already be decided, so no need to go vote. According to The Guardian, it will be impossible for Republicans to achieve a victory with the new congressional maps. Stay at home, they said. That's democracy. CBS says Russia offensive unexpectedly slowed by fierce civilian Ukraine residents, but said the American civilians, who are the largest armed population in the world, will not have had the firepower to do the same. There's no expectation, they said, that American civilians could fight off an army that size. Do these people actually believe what they're saying? Or are they just saying it so they can convince their Karens of the world? I got my government-issued gun. Does anyone know how to use it? What does MEAS 36 by 9.5 by 98 cm mean? I don't know. Somebody help me out with this. Record number, 7.1% of Americans identify as LGBTQABCTCABCB, but represents 99.999% of the political conversation. Vice President Harris will face its highest stakes in foreign policy assignment yet in Germany, where she tried to keep the Allies unified with the Russian invasion of Ukraine by laughing them into submission. You know the Russians. Biden felt that she did such a fantastic job of opening up the southern border that she should be able to do this quite easily. Biden said he is very happy with his pick of the Supreme Court and thinks she is very qualified. He said, when I smelled her hair, I knew she was the right woman for the job. 1 dead and 2 injured in a dorm room stabbing at Pennsylvania University, leading Biden to say he will ban all guns in colleges and anybody under the age of 50 is not allowed in dorm rooms. In case you were hoping that inflation would decrease, a cargo ship packed with thousands of Volkswagen vehicles is on fire in the Atlantic Ocean. Oh man, I was really wanting one of those cars. It beats that magic jelly bean and unicorn fart car. Babylon Bee reports, researchers determined the science has changed after carefully examining the poll numbers. Science for the Democrat Party have announced a surprising change in science after the old science determined to be unpopular to remain science. Weird science. Babylon Bee reports local sources in Alabama found a local dad recently completing a project that will help enable his family to save money on the groceries. After much research and 10 weekends of hard labor, Dave has successfully constructed a backyard chicken coop with a small investment of $3,000 on lumber and supplies. He will now be able to get 16-cent eggs for free. Hold on just a minute. This just in, I've got several reports going on right now in major democratically run cities that, hold on. People are starting to emerge from their homes and being locked away in confinement in their homes for nearly 2 years. What they emerged to when they walked outside was a dystopia of people living normal lives. People were screaming with what a horrific monstrosity. We're all gonna die, they're saying. CNN reports that after days of thorough investigation and dozens of interviews with people across the world, including Ukraine, Poland, Britain, Russia, and China, we are able to identify the primary factor in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Turns out that President Putin is very angry with Trump for having a call with Ukraine President Zelensky when Trump asked Zelensky to investigate Hunter Biden's dealings in Ukraine, which led to President Trump's first impeachment. So as many Americans already expected, this conflict may turn into World War III, and it is Trump's fault. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, said, I guess those Ukraine checks are gonna stop. Oh, now that nobody's laundering my money. This Ukraine soldier known as Maskar Marpupulo has been active on the front lines, making sure everyone wears masks and keeping 6 feet distance. Babylon Bee reports Justin Trudeau is distraught and was seen gulping down maple syrup between jealous tirades after learning another dictator has taken all his press coverage by invading Ukraine. It's just not fair, eh? Biden said he wants to continuously increase inflation by going to war with Russia and having taxpayers foot the bill for a $1 trillion war. $1 trillion, that's not bad. That's pretty cheap, actually. Let's hand it over to our 100% accurate weather team. Rob, what's the weather look like today? Looks like there is a 50% chance of rain wherever you are today. Back to you at the news desk. Thanks, Rob. Let's hope for no rain today. Voters in liberal San Francisco ousted by overwhelming margins 3 school board members in the wake of widespread backlash over the slow reopening of schools shutdowns by the virus and the controversial plan to rename dozens of schools, including Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Furious parents launched the recall effort after arguing school boards with pushing progressive politics instead of acting in the best interest of children. And they said liberals were going to take Texas. Heck, they can't even hold on to California. Oh, the red wave coming, I'm telling you. There's a new drug treatment for Alzheimer's disease, but those who might benefit from it know almost nothing about it, a new study shows. Actually, the doctors told them all about it. They just forgot. And the doctors were busy testing them for the virus. Nancy Pelosi said in a statement, we are all praying for the safety of all vaccinated Ukrainians. CNN's Brian Stelter said, I don't know what we can do anymore than what we've already done to help fighting with his poll numbers. Every time we showcase his achievements, it seems our ratings drop and his poll numbers drop. Now that President Trump has started his new social media outlet, it's only going to contribute to worse numbers. Nancy Pelosi needs to step up her efforts and throw Trump in jail. Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, I'm going to circle back. I hate to disappoint the conservative Twitter, but I'm going to circle back when asked if Biden administration is worried about the Ukraine war. Press Secretary said, I'm going to have to circle back. Biden said in a speech today, has anybody seen my kitter cat? Mr. President, what's a kitter cat? You know, a kitter cat. What's this? Kitter cat. Hillary Clinton said Republicans let Donald Trump trash our democracy while she was caught spying on a sitting president of the United States and had him be impeached for Russia spying that she literally fabricated. That's democracy. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Whoopi Goldberg comes back from a suspension where she said the Jewish people is not a race, but instead she wants people to have a background check to see if you're racist. I wonder if she'll get her own background check because she is racist. More than 70% of Americans now immune to Omicron until the next one comes. All members of Congress can attend the State of the Union address with virus restrictions, meaning that all Republicans are one big cootie-infested, yucky, disgusting, virus-infected, so they won't be able to attend. Joe Biden said he's pretty excited about bringing back the Cold War. He said, I remember back when I was in grade school, we used to have these bomb drills. We would have to get under the desk and cover our head. I remember I used to sniff the Susie's hair while little Joey rubbed the blonde hair on my legs. Those were the good old days. I'm very happy I was able to bring back to the modern society so our children can have the same pleasures that I did as a child. With President Putin flexing his muscles with his heightened nuclear deterrent, he continued by saying, when I was 12, I can't see in this thing. I helped my daddy build a bomb shelter in our basement because some fool parked 24 warheads 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Well, this thing could park a couple hundred warheads off to Washington and New York, and no one would know anything until it was all over. Hey now, wait a minute. No. He's lying. That's not true. I know where that came from. He's talking about that movie, Hunt for Red October movie. U.S. troops just entered Ukraine. So that's all your news that's not fit to print. Please share this with your friends on other social media sites. Click subscribe so you can get future updates. Thanks for watching.